Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of the Steel City Commuters Podcast. I am Austin Cairns, joined alongside Nicholas Brown, finally in reaching distance of downtown Nick Brown. And we are back for episode 42, the Big 4-2, here on the podcast this week. I can't believe it's already been 42 episodes. We're approaching the big 50th, and the 50th special.
Anniversary.
And I almost said anniversary. We're not doing this for 50 years. No, absolutely not. But 50 episodes of Steel City Commuters. I'm excited for. We got some big plans. We also got a very special guest joining us on next week. But this week we're gonna just rock it with just us two. We're gonna rock it.
I gotta put up with you.
We're gonna play some doubles this week. How you doing over there, Mr. Downtown Nick Brown, Prince Brown?
Going well. I joined you on Monday for the radio show.
You did.
And of course, 3 weeks in a row, I was actually on the radio show rather early in the time slot. You didn't keep me until the end, so I interrupted fair and square right in the beginning because my voice needs to be heard. The people request that my voice needs to be heard. The people request Nick Brown needs to be heard. And that's exactly what has been happening. And so they're going to hear my voice again today on this podcast, Steel City Commuters.
Well, you are here. You are the co-host of Steel City Commuters. And we also have a lot of other content that's going to be coming out in the upcoming weeks. I want to kind of start off actually recapping content, though. My goodness, crossover galore.
Crossover week.
We had Peyton Celeste, Pirate Peyton, Peanut Peyton.
Whatever you want to call him.
On Steel City Commuters this past Wednesday.
Yes.
You made an appearance on the We Are Family podcast, which is actually triple hosted by Peyton Celeste, Nate Shivens, and the guest that was on 2 Jagoffs this past Sunday, Jake Bell, which was just incredible. Crossovers all over the place.
It was incredible. We Are Family. The lineup and like the setup of how they feel is very different. The environment is very different.
Meanwhile, it's the same place.
It is the same place, but just the overall atmosphere, the mood, the attitude going into it, what we're going to be talking about. I was kind of over in your section over there. I actually liked being over there.
Yeah, it's nice being over here.
We talked.
Empty out the pockets.
Oh my God, here we go.
We gotta put the wallet out. We have nothing to decorate the table with today.
No. What did we talk about on We Are Family? We talked about Pitt. We talked about some of the World Series stuff going on. They asked for my predictions. We talked about myself. We also talked about the podcasting in general, how we started to get used to each other with Steel City. Also talked heavily on NFL. Peyton had a lot of thoughts. Jake had a lot of thoughts. Nate actually was the host of my episode. So with them three, they kind of each take a turn and rotate. Let's just say Pirate Peyton's intro to We Are Family is definitely being carried down through who's ever hosting. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
That was a good impression.
Trying here. So We Are Family was fantastic. It was nice Friday afternoon. We got a lot of out. I think we got an hour and a half out of me.
That's not bad.
I think. And Jake was on 2 Jagoffs this week. Jake shared a lot of insight, his thoughts into the Steelers, his thoughts into Pitt, his thoughts on, being in sports comm, doing UView, doing sideline, kind of co-hosting sideline and like co-directing sideline. Jake was an incredible guest, was able to break down a lot of aspects. And it was actually an interview that was worth watching. It just didn't bore me because Jake is really soft-spoken. You really got to listen carefully to Jake because he's more on the quieter side. I run into Jake often, a lot of people on campus, but Jake just is like the soft, like, not even outspoken. He's like, he's dumbed it down. He's toned it down. He's definitely in the quieter spot. And for you to get Jake, you got to let him open up. You got to let him talk, and you got to let his thoughts roll out.
Jake was great. I had a very nice conversation with him, about an hour long, a little under an hour.
Yes.
And I will say that it was definitely one of my favorites that I've done. I've actually finally completed and have finally gathered all of the Infinity Stones of sideline producers. I had my guy Matt Palangi, also a friend of Steel City Commuters.
Yes.
We had Bryn Reeves, who will hopefully also be on Steel City Commuters one day, and my guy Jake Bell. So it was great. There is one thing, though, that I'm a little disappointed about with all these crossovers this week.
What?
I'm a little disappointed that out of all the podcasts here at Point Park University, we haven't done anything with Have a Shift Day yet, or we haven't done anything with Thiele and Graves yet, or we haven't done anything with the other guys. So if you guys are listening out there, we will be more than happy to do crossovers or other kind of episodes. I think it'll be cool getting all the different podcasts together for one big special one day. Definitely not in here because there's only 4 microphones and 6 Podchaser slots, so we would have to do something a little different unless we just take one from each podcast. But I feel like a big panel of every podcast that's hosted at Point Park would be really cool. 2 Jagoffs, We Are Family, Steel City, Thielen Graves, Have a Shift. I feel like all of them coming together as one, maybe even having Angelo as the moderator for it since he's the podcasting guy here at Point Park.
That's a good idea.
I think that would be sick. So there is my little blueprint that I just laid out. I'm hoping you all accept. But no, in all seriousness, I had a really good time with the crossovers this week. I can't say the name or exactly when it's coming out, but I will be actually going on somebody else's podcast. That has nothing to do with Point Park
They
University.
actually invited you on? They actually find that you're interesting?
They did because of my interesting experience I did. AEW, which was, as you all know, I'm going to get serious for a second, my biggest moment and accomplishment probably in my young 21-year life so far. I had an amazing time. I did a bonus video on my personal YouTube channel covering AEW. You should definitely go check that out. I'll probably put a link in the description, honestly. I actually worked really hard on that one. I tried new camera angles. I stayed back at Point Park. I did it all in one take, but I did a lot of post-production magic. I added some fades, some transitions. I put some pictures. I put some B-roll in there too. I edited the entire thing. I'm proud of that video because I actually took about an hour just to actually go through and make the edits to make that video seem sweet. And it did really good numbers on my personal YouTube channel, which really doesn't have any traction because I really don't post it that much. I only really post there when me and you do bonus content, or if I have like a demo I'm throwing up or something I did with Sideline, just something I want to put out there for my personal brand. But no, I'm going to be going on this podcast tonight. It's going to be late, which is why we're doing this early. I have a nice little break in between to be able to edit, eat, do some homework, and kind of just relax for a little bit. But no, I'm going on this podcast later. It's all wrestling podcast. So for you wrestling fans out there, you might already know where I'm going with this. But it's a wrestling podcast. And I'm going to talk about my wrestling career so far because as crazy as it sounds, I'm no longer an aspiring broadcaster. I've done more than 2 gigs. And as they say in the broadcasting biz, if you do more than 2 gigs, you're no longer aspiring. You are in the business. Even if you're not getting paid for it, which I have gotten paid for it, so that's another cultivating reason. I've done 20-plus wrestling events. I've done a couple dozen football games. I've done a couple dozen basketball games, a couple dozen soccer games, almost a dozen volleyball games, and I've even done some baseball games. So, and I did an entire wiffle ball tournament, which was also paid. So I think it's safe to say I'm a broadcaster now. I'm no longer an aspiring broadcaster. I'm officially a commentator, and tonight on this podcast, I'll be sharing my story, sharing my experiences. I'm excited because for the first time ever, I'm going to really be interviewed on a podcast where I'm not necessarily friends with the person or really had a prior relationship. I do work with this person, so I kind of already know who they are. But this is like my first time kind of walking into a different territory, a completely different studio being interviewed. So I'm excited for it.
So, given all the wrestling and all the different wrestling businesses, I think this is a great time to break it all down. Austin is enjoying. You know where I'm going.
I know exactly where you're going with this.
Austin
enlighten the audience.
So
look at the camera. Cut your promo.
So last night we were on the phone, and he's just throwing all these wrestling names at me, all these companies that were doing wrestling, and I said, I think it would be cool if I made my own promo up, made my own wrestling company up. And so this is kind of just doing this off the top of my head. So what are you throwing at me? Enjoy, AEW, 880. What?
Not AEW, 880.
I would say 880, IWC, and Enjoy. Mm-hmm. So Austin is enjoying a podcast regarding wrestling where he is going to write 880 books. 880 books and smashing IWC down the road.
With Renegade and Rise.
Along with Renegade, and he's going to rise it all the way.
And 2PW.
and he's going to 2PW down it with it.
2PW down it. No, that's funny. No, but there's a lot of different wrestling companies, and I can't reveal on this podcast, but let's just say I may have another one coming up that you may be seeing me at. 880 and IWC might not be the only 2. Hint, hint. Wink, wink. Nudge, nudge.
Don't wink at me. That's just weird.
I'm not wink-winking at you. I'm wink-winking at them.
Oh, they don't want to see that either.
Oh, no, we're wink-winking at them because there's a possibility of me doing another company, so I'm excited for it. I'm really excited.
Are you going to get booted off commentary like you do every Thursday?
Actually, I haven't got booted off commentary in about 2 months.
Well, I'm gonna call them up because I think that's what the people ask.
Call Reese Hayes. Go ahead. See what Reese Hayes has to say.
I think Reese and John and Clinton King, they all like when you get booted.
They do. They find enjoyment.
So do I. Oh, they're enjoying it.
You shouldn't. You're on my team. Remember, we're Team 2 Jaguars versus
That's
Team
true,
leaders.
but I think when you get booted...
No, we're team leaders versus team.
Yes. But what happens if I were to join that wrestling team?
They wouldn't want you. They already bullied you. They don't
that
like you.
is true.
They
That
don't
is
like
true.
you. They don't like me. They don't like Lucas. They hate Kevin. Every time they see Kevin, they flick him off. They hate him.
That's why I don't go to wrestling events, because I'm not the one to get involved in that kind of stuff.
Well, you're already looped into it because some guy named John and Clayton King have egos.
And I'm shocked that some guy named John made his way down here.
I am too. I got to give him props. I didn't expect him to. And then I thought about it and I was like, wait a minute. Why did some guy named John came down here? Some guy named John would love nothing more than to sit in front of a camera and get that free publicity.
Oh,
so
yes.
Now it makes sense why he came down here.
Exactly.
That's why.
Free, he has a good following. So does 2 Jagoffs. But the main thing is, you live rent-free in his head.
I do.
24/7.
I do.
That's the funniest part of it. No matter who can torment some guy named John, we all live rent-free in his head, and it gets to him.
It does.
It gets to him so bad that he has to have a Starkey remark to combat it.
He's called me an asshole. He's called me a jagoff.
He's called you a lot of names that aren't even allowed to be said on air because the FCC would surely strike it down.
I know. I'd get Jimmy Kimmel if I tried saying any of that stuff. It would be crazy.
He is Stephen Colbert.
I'm Stephen Colbert. Shout out to my man Stephen Colbert.
And Jimmy Kimmel.
And Jimmy Kimmel. We love Jimmy Kimmel. But no, John is just an interesting guy.
John is not enjoying the time.
No, John is not enjoying the time. John also got his ass beat and enjoyed it too. Actually, at one of the Enjoy Wrestling shows, I got to chop John. MV Young came over to him. He's like, Austin hit him. And I was like, okay, boom. I wish I would have hit him harder. But
wasn't there a picture on your Facebook page?
Oh, there was a whole video.
That is true.
There's a whole video of me chopping him.
So John was not enjoying.
No, he was not. He was not enjoying his time at Enjoy
He
Wrestling.
was 2PW'd.
He was more than 2PW'd. He got chopped about 880 times. Oh, man. Well, no, we have a lot to talk about in today's episode of Steel City Commuters, mainly NFL related because a lot of great games, a lot of upsets.
A lot of great games. My bracket went down the hole.
Well, a lot of great games because a lot of upsets happened this past week. And I want to start off actually talking about last night's game because I have not talked publicly about it yet.
Womp womp.
We got the Jacksonville Jaguars defeating the Kansas City Chiefs 31-28 in a pretty solid game. Trevor Lawrence showed up and showed out along with this incredible Jacksonville offensive squad that surrounds him. Lawrence was the main question mark, but last night he proved that he honestly deserves to still be a starter in this league.
They're 4-1.
I want to go to you. Can you let me finish my monologue? I'm about to go to you. Damn.
Let's go. Come on.
The Jacksonville Jaguars defeated the Kansas City Chiefs last night. I'm going to now go over to Nicholas Brown.
You talk too much.
You messed up the whole clip. Thank you. What is your thoughts on this game?
I was shocked coming into this game. We talked yesterday on the radio show about how the whole environment over the weekend was there's a lot of upsets, and we saw that Sunday night. We're now Monday night, and how this proved to be a team that everybody thought was going to be on the sidelines. It was going to be another muted performance for Trevor Lawrence in this offense. Wow, they actually showed up. Earlier in the game, I thought Kansas City was going to win. I think I went to bed. It was 14-7-ish, right near halftime. But again, Patrick Mahomes really wasn't playing their best. Jacksonville actually came out and started relatively slow. I don't want to say they started fast. It was a slow start. They were having a lot of offensive issues, trying to get to the ball, trying to make their way downfield. They even went for it on a 4th and 1 and didn't get it, which costed them some points early on in the game. And so when a team goes for it on 4th and 1, and I get it, Trevor Lawrence tried to do the sneak over the goal line and trying to get that football and then fumbled. That proves to me on a 4th and 1, ESPN stats said you should go for it. If you went for it on 4th and 1, you were at the 1 yard line and you couldn't get that 1 yard to get that touchdown. That kind of worries me. While they kind of come out at halftime and they just reverse this whole game. The offense showed up for Jacksonville. The defense showed up for Jacksonville, and they were able to put a stop to Mahomes and these Chiefs. We know the Chiefs aren't having a great season. They're starting off, 2-3 now? Mm-hmm. Jacksonville is 4-1. If you were to tell me Jacksonville would have been 4-1 this at week 5, I would have probably laughed at you. This now proves that I think Trevor Lawrence and this offense could really make it far into the season.
Fully disagree with you. The Jacksonville Jaguars are the worst 4-1 team in the National Football League. Don't let records deceive you. Here's the thing with the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I am the biggest Trevor Lawrence activist, not activist, advocate. That's the right word.
Okay.
You saw my coffee I had this morning.
Starbucks, large.
It was a large one too. I needed it this morning.
It.
I did gulp it. I was chugging that thing in for Billy's class. But no, in all seriousness, Trevor Lawrence is a great quarterback. I love Trevor Lawrence. I always have since he was at Clemson. I knew he was going to be a first-round pick. I knew he was going to be a future number 1 overall pick just because of the talent that he has on the field. But the thing is with the Jacksonville Jaguars, Lawrence has now gone through 3 different head coaches in the 4 years that he's been in the league. That is bad when you are a rookie quarterback, when you are a second-year quarterback, a third-year quarterback. You cannot have that many different head coaches because, again, the culture is going to change. The schemes are going to change. The plays are going to change. The playbook itself is going to change. And this is not to discredit Liam Cohen at all. He was a successful coordinator in Tampa Bay. That's the entire reason why he got the gig in the first place. But the fact of the matter is this. They looked great against the Kansas City Chiefs. They had an amazing upset victory. Technically, they were favored due to the record, but we all knew the Chiefs are the Chiefs. So a lot of people picked them just because they thought they were going to win. The Jacksonville Jaguars do not have rhythm. They don't. And that's sad to see because they have stars. They have Trayvon Walker. They have Josh Allen. They have Devin Lloyd. They have Tyson Campbell. They have players on this defense that makes them and should make them elite, but they're not. What carried them in this game was not the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jaguars didn't go out there and beat the Kansas City Chiefs on Monday Night Football. The Kansas City Chiefs beat themselves, and here's why. Why the hell are you only attempting to run the football 14 times in that game? 7 carries from Kareem Hunt. 7 carries from Isaiah Pacheco. Patrick Mahomes took off 6 times himself and still accumulated more yards than both of his running backs individually. How is that possible? Why are you not establishing the run? See, this is the point that was brought up at the beginning of the season. Can the Kansas City Chiefs solve their offensive issues? Well, guess what? How are we going to blame Patrick Mahomes for this game when he's throwing the football 49 times and you're only attempting to run the football 14? That is a probability that should not be had. You want to know who that falls on? That falls on Andy Reid. That falls on this coaching staff. That falls on the coordinator. That falls on everybody within the Kansas City organization that was on that football field last night. You cannot attempt to run the football 14 times. It's not like this is Baltimore's defense. It's not like this was Denver's defense. It's not like this is a defense that is good at stopping the run. No. This is a defense that, is solid, has talent, has players that's going to be in the top 100 later this year, but it's not like you're going up against a future Super Bowl contender. Jacksonville will be lucky to make the playoffs. Let's just leave it at that.
Oh.
Here's the issue with Kansas City for me. They are 2-3. It has nothing to do with the officials. It has nothing to do with the players and strength of schedule. Honestly, it has nothing even to do really with Patrick Mahomes. The issue right now in Kansas City is coaching decisions, more specifically third down calls. Why the hell are you running it on 3rd and 12? Why? Why are you running it on 3rd and 7? Pass the damn football. Patrick Mahomes is elite. Patrick Mahomes will be one of the greatest quarterbacks when it's all said and done. Why is Andy Reid going out there and making Patrick Mahomes throw it 49 times in the double coverage, which most of them were incomplete? Correct me if I'm wrong, Nick. I'm pretty sure he only had like 22 or 23 completed passes in that game.
It was low stats last night.
He did have 300 yards. He had well over 300 yards, which is great. But again, you can't just look at stats and say, oh, he had 300 yards, he had a good game. No, he didn't. And the reason why is because you only attempted to run the football 14 times, not including the 6 rushes Mahomes had. 14 times. You do not open up a passing game by running it 14 times. You need to run the football more.
Can I just say that I think you're wrong because CBS actually counteracts your point.
How?
Directly. This week, or actually this morning, overreaction from Jaguars stunning win versus Chiefs. Is Trevor Lawrence back? Should Casey cut Harrison Butker?
What?
This is how they lay it out. They do.
Oh, you're looking at fake news, but go ahead.
This is CBS Sports. They do it every Monday. Overreaction and reaction from Monday night. So they do this every Tuesday. And the first one is Jaguars are a playoff team. Overreaction or reality? Reality. They cut to the chase. The Jaguars are a tenacious team with an opportunistic defense and a quarterback who's starting to regain his confidence. That's a dangerous combination, especially for a team that now has back-to-back wins against good opponents in San Francisco and Kansas City. Jacksonville has the look of a team that will be playing in mid-January.
I want to cut you off right there. This is your issue, Nick Brown, and I don't mean to take shots at you, my friend, because I've known you for a long time. You're forming an opinion based off of a website. You're forming an opinion based off of
I just saw
experts.
That right now.
I get that. I don't want you on your phone. I want you to give me your opinion on the Jaguars. You're sharing somebody else's opinion. What is your opinion? This is my opinion on the Chiefs. Again, nobody is correct here. This is a podcast. I'm sharing my opinion on the Jaguars. Form your opinion without outside sources.
I told you right at the beginning.
What did you see in Monday Night Football? They did.
Well, I thought Trevor Lawrence was rather healthy last night.
He was.
And he was able to get that football.
He was.
So who do you blame here? Do you actually blame the Kansas City defense?
I blame Andy Reid. I just told you who I blamed.
You always like to blame the coaches, but you never like to blame the players.
No,
of course, because Mahomes lost, we're never going to blame Mahomes. Of course, when Mahomes gets these calls, we never blame.
He never got called. He didn't get any calls last night.
Last night was actually really good in officiating.
I'm about to say he did not get any calls.
That was probably one of the best.
He hasn't got calls all season. So what are you talking about?
Yet. Come on. There is evidence surrounding it. I can pull up.
Nick Brown, I can tell you've never been on the sideline before. There is no way in hell you can make the case that Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs are getting calls. They're 2 and 3. They're 2 and 3.
Not this season yet, but come on. Every season we see it. There is literally evidence. There is evidence.
There's no evidence. The evidence that you put out, Nick Brown, is fabricated.
No, if you're a KC Chiefs fan, of course you're going to say,
I'm not a Chiefs fan. I'm a Cardinals fan.
Well, we know that. But
so what's your point?
We have not seen it yet this season. But again, this is because they're trailing. So watch this as happens every year.
Okay, so you're going to sit up here and say if the Chiefs are able to get the ball rolling, we're only going to say the only reason why they found their footing is because the officials gave them those games? Absolutely hell not. That is bogus. Nope. That might be the worst take you've ever had. Nope. Oh my God.
There is
so
disgusting. Much evidence every week.
There's not. There's none. There's none. You are relying on news sites with so-called analysts.
Nope. My dad has seen it. I've seen it. We sit at home and
I don't care what your dad's seen. I'm talking to you.
I sit at home and literally say that is literally a hold on the Chiefs. But the Chiefs never get the calls. Why?
Bullshit. And here's why this is bullshit. Jawan Taylor is the most penalized tackle in the league. He false starts every other play. He has a 75% call rate. That is the worst in the league. That is worse than Pittsburgh's, worse than Dallas's, worse than Arizona's. Kansas City Chiefs is the most penalized offensive line. They have the most false starts. So how are you going to sit up here and say they get all the calls when they also get called respectfully?
You're telling me every time
counteracts your point.
You're telling me every time Patrick Mahomes scrambles, the offensive line never holds. Bull fucking shit.
You can make that case with all 32 NFL teams.
It. I can literally point it from my living room.
You can say that about Geno Smith. You can say that about Kyler Murray. You can say that about Dak Prescott.
They only pinpoint when it's the last 2 minutes and crucial moments of the game.
If every team. Not just with the Chiefs. You can't just say...
It's heavily relied over on the Chiefs.
No, it's
heavily.
not.
It's more geared toward them, yes.
No, it's not.
Yes.
It is not. There's been bad calls. I will give you that. I've even agreed and came on this podcast and said, yeah, that's horrible officiating. But when the Saints got that pass interference, didn't get that pass interference call against the Rams 3 years ago in the wild card, are we going to sit up here and say, oh, the referees were paid off by the... No, the referees aren't paid off. Vegas wasn't involved. That's a whole conspiracy. What's really going on here is the officials are bad. Yes, the officials are bad across every major sport. We've seen bad calls in basketball. We've seen bad calls with the umpires in baseball.
And that's why we're going to an electric zone for next season, too.
Bad calls are common, but to sit up here and say, like, oh, well, Mahomes, yes, does Mahomes get the Brady treatment? Sure, fine. Yes, everybody's going to flip out on social media because that's how good Patrick Mahomes is. But to sit up here and say Mahomes is, oh, here, let me go in my wallet. Mahomes is on the sideline over here trying to pay off the refs. No, he's not doing that. It's not happening. That's not true.
Yes, it is. We can provide evidence.
And if you sit up here and say that, that's just the yinzer coming out of you, which is crazy because you're a Cowboys fan. But that's just the yinzer coming out. You can't sit up here and say that one player is specifically paying off the players. Are you going to sit up here and say LeBron James? Okay, LeBron James. Let's talk about LeBron.
I never said paying off.
No, time out.
I never said paying off. You're thinking I'm like, we're on the sideline giving money. No, I'm just saying it happens every game. Specific officials. You know it, and I know it.
I don't know it because it's not true. LeBron James, I would argue, is one of the greatest basketball players of all time. I personally believe he's second, just like I do with Patrick Mahomes. Many people would argue Jordan. We're not going to get into the GOAT debate right now. That's a whole different debate. That's a whole different conversation. This is already getting heated. But I'm going to bring up LeBron James for one specific reason. Does LeBron James get calls? No, he doesn't. You want to know why? Because he constantly cries and whines and asks for calls. That's why I'm not really a big LeBron fan, because Jordan would go out there and he would play to the fullest of his ability. He would take the hits. He would take the no calls. LeBron, honestly, he flops a lot. Let's just be honest. We've all seen LeBron James flop on the court. And you want to know what I'm going to say about Patrick Mahomes? He does the exact same thing on football field. Patrick Mahomes will whine and cry for calls.
And he gets them.
Does he get them, though, all the time? Absolutely not, because in the Super Bowl against Tampa Bay, Patrick Mahomes got completely sidelined by Vita Vea out of bounds. He completely put him on his ass. Some people would say it's unnecessary roughness. Patrick Mahomes got up, he's grabbing his helmet, he's flipping out, he's crying to the referee. What did the ref do? He went like this. No. Back to the huddle. What did Mahomes do? back to the huddle, they scored the touchdown. Are we really going to sit up here and say, oh, that's because of the officials? No, the official quite literally did this. He waved his finger. No.
Well, I'd like to commend that official because that's probably the only one that has probably done it correctly.
And we've seen it several times. Josh Allen is another player that's known for crying for calls. It happens all the time. Yes, players are going to cry for flags. And sometimes do the officials give it up? They do. But to sit up here and say it's just the Kansas City Chiefs at fault when there's 31 other teams in the NFL, there's 32 teams in the National Basketball Association, there's 32 teams in the Major League Baseball, and there's 31 teams in the National Hockey League, to sit up here and say across all 4 major sports that the Kansas City Chiefs are the sole team that gets calls based on officiating is just ridiculous. Nope. It's redundant, and it shows your lack of football knowledge.
I watch it every day. You're telling me...
Okay, just because you watch it doesn't mean anything. I watch it too. Cool. Crack open a beer and watch the game. Cool.
But you don't look at that. Nope. You always never like to blame officials. You never like to blame this.
I just blamed officials. I just gave you 3 examples of me blaming officials. What's your point? What's your point?
No, honestly, because if I can sit at home and see it right from my living room, you're telling me that official who's on that sideline, who's on that field can't see it, I don't believe it. Nope, don't believe it.
What's your point?
Last night was actually pretty officiated. I'm trying to think who. It was a great game.
It doesn't matter who calls the game, but go ahead.
Well, no, that does have a significant impact.
It does not, but go ahead. These are trained officials. Just go ahead.
It doesn't matter if they're trained or not. If there is, I'm trying to think of the website on X. They put out a stat every time.
Again, you're going to social media. Stop going to websites.
No. I think that is wrong for you to sit up here and say that. It is wrong. I'm putting you in your place. It's wrong.
You can put me in my place, but you're wrong.
No, it's not. When you look at officials, and again, I like to do this for every game of who's calling the game, who's
That doesn't
playing.
matter either. And I'm a broadcaster.
Yes, it does. No, because you have to look.
You're telling me if Joe Tessitore calls a game or Joe Buck calls a game, that has a difference on what the impact of the game? Come on.
No, the officiating officials. Officiating who is the main official. And most of the stats are what they call false starts, pass interference, defensive pass interference, offense. There's a whole list of stats on what officials call the most and what they gear towards. You can sit up here, and I can sit up here right now and say, a lot of these officials aren't geared towards false starts. Some of them are heavily relied on false starts. Some of them actually let them play football and don't call it defensive pass interference or offensive pass interference. There are certain officials that are skewed toward certain calls and will make that call every time to certain teams, certain players. It's true.
You're spreading fake news. Did you watch Baltimore and Houston?
Oh, I thought that was a great game. Houston won. That was my lock of the week.
Did you see how many false starts Baltimore got?
A lot.
Was that because of the officials?
Because of the players. But again,
they
heavily called on that. When it's blatantly obvious, you're going to call it.
Whoa.
There's a lot of times Philly does it, and they don't get a lot of the calls. So the tush push.
No. You made a statement. I'm trying to get on the same page as you. So you're going to sit up here and say that game specifically. I watched it too. It was a good game. Houston absolutely obliterated Baltimore.
Well,
Baltimore got 7 calls. You could also make
the arguments because of Baltimore's defense.
It was 7 false starts in that game.
Yes.
There were 7 false starts throughout the entire throughout all 4 quarters.
It
was a bad performance. Are you blaming the players or the officials? Just one or the other.
In this case...
Just say players or officials. That's all I want.
No. In this case, it was actually the players. You saw it blatantly. But again, you can make the counterpoint for the Eagles.
So you're going to sit up here and say the officials just say, oh, that's a false start when it's not a false start just to give another team benefits?
No. A lot of these officials skew towards certain calls. We can get into the stats of it. This specific...
Yeah, here's the stats of it. Baltimore was using practice squad players that did not have first-team reps during the week. That is why they had that many false starts.
Oh, they're injured. They're done.
Exactly.
Season's over. Baltimore's done. Season's over.
So are you going to take into account that there's specific players that draw specific fouls and specific penalties?
That's a discipline issue. John Harbaugh needed to discipline right when in there.
What about George Pickens? Does he have a discipline issue with flags? Let's go back to the Chiefs. Does Jawan Taylor have a false starting issue?
Well, George Pickens started here in Pittsburgh, and we know Mike Tomlin does not discipline. You could make the argument Brian Schottenheimer has I don't want to say decently has gone at George Pickens, but he's definitely more disciplined, I think, in Dallas than he was in Pittsburgh.
So is that a player issue or an officiating issue?
That is a player issue. Specifically, I'm specific.
So why are we breaking down all these different sectors? Because I agree with you. Everything that you said about Pickens
because
is true.
You can make the argument for the Eagles that the tush push and the Philly push, there's a lot of calls they don't get. Why? Sometimes, and the excuse, I can't see the ball. I can't see this player. I can't see that. That's on the officials right there. Every time the tush pushes happen, most likely will probably be a false start. 95%. Oh, here we go. 95% chance. Why isn't it called? What's the official doing right there? Don't tell me you can't see the ball, because then you should. Definitely in the offseason, you can say, okay, we're banning the tush push. But again, that didn't happen. If you're telling me we can't see the ball, and even, people calling the games, we couldn't see the ball. We don't know if he moved it. We don't know if this. Why? You should be able to see that with every camera angle you have, with the hundreds of camera angles in every stadium. You're telling me you can't pinpoint the ball, and you're telling me you can't see when they started? Come on.
So you're going to say the tush push is an officiating issue, but you're not going to say George Pickens is an officiating issue. It's a player issue. I just want to make sure I'm agreeing with you.
Yes.
Here's what I'm going to break down. Out of everything that you said in this argument so far, I actually got to give you some credit. The tush push, I agree with you on. I believe it's not just an officiating issue. Honestly, I would even go as far as say this is an entire NFL committee issue. I personally believe it should have been banned this offseason. I believe it's an unfair play in my eyes.
And the vote was like heavily skewed, like they didn't want to ban it.
Yeah.
And I'm curious to hear from the people in the room that not only vote on these issues every year, but if this is like a common issue, why aren't you addressing it even more?
And I don't want to see it sound like I'm defending the officials here, but I am going to kind of defend the officials on this call. Whenever you have all this backlash and all this scrutiny that's coming out about the tush push, how are you even supposed to call it fairly without upsetting, either the NFL side of the things or the committee side of things? So that's the only thing that I would kind of give the officials credit for. Yes, they missed a lot of stuff, but you got to give them, it is hard to make those kind of calls when you have such an unorthodox play like the tush push.
But it happens every single
And I'm not
game.
disagreeing with you on that, but that just loops back to the entire general idea that I said before. Everything that you're saying about every single NFL team, it sounds like you have Kansas City syndrome. And what I mean by that is that they are so good and that they are so talented on an elite scale that we want to try and put them down to the ground by any means necessary. It's called the Tom Brady treatment. When the New England Patriots were at their highs, at the highest of highs, what did we do? We said, he didn't get calls. They got every call in the playbook against the other team. They cheated and paid off the refs. They did this. Deflated. They threw everything at Tom Brady and the New England Patriots because of how good they were. And when Tom Brady retired, what did we all do? Man, what a good athlete he was. Man, what a good leader. What a good team player he was. It's the same thing the Kansas City Chiefs are going through right now. The Pittsburgh Steelers went through an era at one point in time. Even your Dallas Cowboys, even though it was before both of us were alive, they went through that at one point in time. If we want to even go all the way back to the 60s, the Green Bay Packers went through that at one point in time when they had that incredible team that went on to win 2 straight NFL championships and then 2 straight Super Bowl appearances. One they beat Kansas City and then the other they lost. The other one they lost in. But the thing that I'm trying to say overall is when it comes down to officials, they suck. We both can agree with that point. Officiating is awful across all 4 major sports. The replay assist was supposed to be brought in to help out.
What happened?
Done absolutely nothing. It's done absolutely nothing to benefit players, benefit coaches, benefit officiating, benefit us as the audience.
Not even the expedited review. I don't even know what the hell that is at this point.
It's ridiculous. They've done everything to try and please us, but in reality, it's not. But again, I'm never going to sit up here and say that, one team is getting favored over the other because of officials. That is BS. Break down the initial plays, because when I watched Kansas City and Jacksonville yesterday, there was a clear as day roughing the pass around Patrick Mahomes. Did they call it? Absolutely not. Face mask was being brought down to the ground. But they called the exact same thing on Trevor Lawrence. I'm just saying, there's a lot of different calls that are missed. There's a lot of different calls that are okay. Now you're nitpicking. But to sit up here and say it's one sole team reaping the benefits of it is ridiculous, and there is zero proof to back it up. And I'm going to stay on that. I don't want to keep going back and forth because we're not going to get anywhere. You're firm on your ground. I'm firm on my ground, which is good. This is a free country. We're allowed to have our own opinions, but I'm just going to leave it at that.
I want to talk about Steelers because at the time of this recording, this is the Tomlin Tuesday, the Tomlin press conference, and we are starting to get some headlines out of that regarding this upcoming week against the Browns. He goes on to say that Browns QB rookie Dylan Gabriel has lots of college experience that is helping him in NFL. 6 years, 63 starts. Quote, I think timely processing is his superpower. That's the only headline I have right now. Kudos to Katie Pomp, at Katie Pomp on X. But I think this is a good time to transition because Steelers have coming off the bye week. It was a major win for them this weekend sitting at home on the couch after Ravens lost, Browns lost, Bengals lost. Literally, the AFC North is just being handed to them. We now transition to where I think it gets complicated. You had your bye week early, and now you transition to a division game. The Browns.
I had the Pittsburgh accent.
The Browns.
Yep.
Worrisome. Division games are always the hardest. Cleveland offense, Dylan Gabriel, you can give him the credit. He's at his high right now. But the defense is really what's probably going to crush them because of what's going on in the Browns' territory. Their defense is spectacular. How are Steelers going to be able to combat this defense? Aaron Rodgers is definitely going to need some extra protection because they're definitely going to try and go for Aaron Rodgers. What's going to happen with DK Metcalf? Are they going to be able to? Is Aaron Rodgers going to be able to be in that pocket comfortably? Is he going to be able to have enough time to sling that ball downfield to DK Metcalf? I worry that this game is going to be close. I don't think this is going to be a high-scoring game for either team. I think if both offensive and defensively, both of these teams play to their max capacity, this game should easily be contained. It probably is going to be a one-score game. I see the Steelers winning, but I'm keeping my score rather low. I think Steelers come out ahead 20-17.
Here's the thing with the Cleveland Browns. They got the best defense in football right now.
They do.
And Lucas was actually getting on me on the phone last night because I said, yeah, the Browns got the best defense. He's like, you change your defense every week. And I'm like, okay, the best defense doesn't stay the same every single week. It changes week to week. It's called it's fluid. You know what I mean? I don't mean to be Stephen A. Smith, but it's fluid. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's fluid. It changes every single week. But no, as of right now, at this current moment in time, Browns have the best defense in football. They have the best pass rush. They got the best coverage. They got the best defense right now. They've been getting to the quarterback the most. They have the most pressures. They're a great team. And in my eyes, I think Myles Garrett is actually the reigning defensive player of the year. I think Myles Garrett is gonna win that award this year. And here comes all the Steelers fans. Oh, well, TJ Watt doesn't get all the calls. And if it was TJ Watt not getting held, he should. No, TJ Watt's not playing good football. He played good the last 2 weeks. I'll give him credit there. He has played good the last 2 weeks.
Start off rough.
But Myles Garrett has played good every single week so far in my eyes. So let's get that out of the way. This is going to be a game where the Pittsburgh Steelers need to have a wide receiver to step up. I don't know the status of Calvin Austin. I don't know what Roman Wilson is looking like coming out of practice this week. I don't know where exactly the Steelers lie exactly within the depth chart outside of DK Metcalf being the sole target, which should be the case. But this is not necessarily going to be a game of, oh, can DK Metcalf go out there and win us the game? They need other wide receivers to break the soft coverage that the Browns play. The Browns play very soft, very shallow coverage, especially on third down. They have Greg Newsome. They have Denzel Ward, who is a future Hall of Famer. They have Grant Delpit back there as well, floating safety. He can kind of bounce around wherever. DK Metcalf is going to struggle in the secondary this week if a wide receiver 2 does not step up. The reason why I say that is, yes, DK Metcalf is going to be your sole target. But if you don't have a wide receiver 2 to break up some of those avenues in the early stages of the game, a wide receiver 2 to kind of take the workload off of DK so that you can kind of spread your defensive formation out a little bit more, that opens up the passing game for DK Metcalf. That's what opens up the one-on-one matchups downfield. Cleveland is not going to give you free one-on-one matchups with DK Metcalf. They're going to play that soft, shallow coverage that is going to contain DK Metcalf. The way you expose that is you get the passing game opened up early. How do you open up the pass game, Nick Brown? You open up the running game. That's where the Steelers' biggest fault is. Last week, Kenneth Gainwell had a solid showing in Ireland. I was very impressed. 2 weeks ago, excuse me. He had a very great showing in Ireland. Is that going to be the same this week? I'm disappointed the rookie Caleb Johnson isn't getting more reps. If you believe him in that much, why do you even have him on the roster to begin with? Jaylen Warren, you're paying him all that money. Many people believe he's the dominant running back. Why is he not getting more reps? Let's see how they open up the scheme this week. I think Arthur Smith is going to have a field day with this Browns. I think he's going to have a field day with this Browns defensive core in the film room this week because there's a lot to break down. There's a lot of different pieces to kind of look at. But when you actually get out on the gridiron this week, how are they going to start off offensively? And before I bounce it back over to you, my main concern with Cleveland on their behalf is how the rookie quarterback's going to play against the Steelers defense.
Yes.
Because Steelers love to pressure their rookie quarterbacks. And Dylan Gabriel did actually look pretty solid in that final 2 minutes against Minnesota. Yeah, they lost the game, but Dylan Gabriel made the right reads. He made the right throws. Actually, Dylan Gabriel perfectly put him in the field goal position. If the receiver if he would have stepped out of bounds after he caught it on the out route, that would have stopped the clock with 2 seconds, and they would have been able to kick the field goal or at least do a Hail Mary. But the receiver got tackled in bounds, ran out the clock. It was too late to do it. But that was a beautiful pass from Dylan Gabriel. Gabriel actually made some good reads. So I'm not saying Gabriel's going to come out here and have 300 yards like rookie C.J. Stroud or rookie Lamar Jackson, but I believe it's going to be a close game. You said what, 2018?
2017.
2017? I'm going to give the Steelers a little more credit. I'm going to go 23-21. I think it's going to be still close. I like how you're in that one-score game. I think it's going to come down to like a game-winning, game-tying field goal situation.
I think if TJ Watt starts early and gets in Gabriel's head early, that kind of ends the game real early. If TJ Watt can pressure him right off the bat and get in there.
I'm not concerned about that, though. I'm not concerned about the Steelers' defense up against the Browns' offense. It's a mismatch. What I'm concerned about is how the Steelers' offense is going to play against the Browns' defense.
Oh, that too.
Because the Browns' defense is what is this team. I mean, look at the Green Bay game. They only put up 10 points for a reason, and they only allowed Green Bay to put up 10 points for a reason, and that's because the defense showed up and showed out. The offense didn't show up in that game. Now, for granted, Flacco was the quarterback. He's less mobile than Gabriel is, but you got to look at really what the defense and what the offense is going to do in terms of Browns versus, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Speaking of injuries, this is from Brooke Pryor over at ESPN. Mike Tomlin says he's really encouraged about the return of guys who've been out and specifically mentions Hy Smith, Joey Porter Jr., says Jaylen Warren looked good in practice too. Says Calvin Austin, remember he has a shoulder, and Jalen Ramsey hamstring will be limited at the start of the week, but could do more late in the week. He says they've been aggressive in recovery over the bye week, and he's encouraged by their status.
If Calvin Austin doesn't play, I'm actually kind of concerned. I'm not going to lie. I think Calvin Austin would be the game changer here just because he will be, no offense to Roman Wilson and the rest of the receiving court, Calvin Austin gives DK Metcalf his best chances at opening the playing field.
He has not spent any time thinking about how he's going to talk to Broderick Jones this week because Jones is not a dummy and knows exactly the type of player he faces.
Don't tell Lucas that one.
Yes.
Lucas is not a Broderick Jones fan.
Most likely, if Calvin Austin does not play, that will kind of result in elevator rules for Roman Wilson, Scotty Miller. Mm-hmm. Tomlin says Wilson's role hasn't been big because of how they are deploying personal groups, jumbo tight end, lots of 12 personal, etc. So, not really clear how these injuries are shaping up, if any of them are making a return. Again, this is from the Mike Tomlin press conference, thanks to Brooke Pryor, all the reporters, Katie Pomp, Nick. There's a lot going on inside the room right now. So I'm also eager, how Ravens perform, how the Bengals perform. It's going to be another AFC North battle showdown because if the Steelers win this game and they're already 1-0 in the division and they win and everybody else loses, this really sets them apart. Mm-hmm. This really sets them apart for how this week is going to go because we already know that the Bengals are in second. I believe they're 2-2.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that the Browns and the Ravens are tied down at the bottom of the AFC North. I don't think Week 5 was supposed to be like that, Austin.
Not at all, Nick. Honestly, you put the nail in the coffin there on that one. I mean, this AFC North division is beaten, it's bruised, and it's battered. I mean, that's the only way you can describe the AFC
triple
North.
Bs.
It's the triple B. It's bruised, beaten, and battered. Pittsburgh Steelers are going to win the AFC North by default, honestly. Put an asterisk next to it because it wasn't a fair season, in all honesty, for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I know a lot of Steelers fans aren't going to like that because they're like, oh, well, we won the division either way. Okay, cool. Let's see how you fare against the other teams in the playoffs, the Buffaloes of the world, the Houstons of the world, the Kansas Cities of the world when he gets to the playoffs.
Oh, we know Josh Allen isn't great in the playoffs. He kind of fumbles in the playoffs.
No, he's great in the playoffs. He's just not great against the Chiefs in the playoffs. He's 0-4 against Patrick Mahomes. He's 12-1 against other competition.
Mention that, too, for Lamar Jackson. He's all superstar all season. Once you come to the playoffs,
Lamar's more of a playoff guy. Josh Allen is only Chiefs, but I agree with you on Lamar. Lamar is complete, but he's not even going to be back right now. So
I don't know when he should be back. I don't know.
Lamar's not done for the year, thank goodness.
No, he's not done for the year, but I'm trying to remember. I don't remember. When do Ravens have a bye? It's not till midpoint?
Yeah, it's more like middle of the season.
So I think week 10, 11-ish?
Yeah, something like that.
I think Lamar should be back week 7, 8, maybe 6. No, this would be 6. So I think Lamar should be 7 or 8. If he comes back, how's he going to be able to perform?
Yeah.
Normally, if you're out of injury for a while, you're out of touch, you're out of character. I don't see him having a great end of, second half of the season, even when that should be their prime time. Because, as I said yesterday on the radio show, month of October is kind of setting the stage. You're like week 5. It's setting the stage for coaches. It's setting the stage for offensive coordinators. And I think Bill Cowher brought this up. It's setting the stage for a month of football on how you shape your league to be. This is like a third of the way through the season almost. And this is kind of all going to define how you shape up because once you hit November, once you hit December, if you're not at the top, you have to climb to the top and you have to pray that everybody else in your division loses. where if you're like the Steelers, you have some leadway right now in your division. But you just can't all of a sudden fall off a cliff and say, we lost at fair and square. You had such a marginal lead. You have to be playing at your best right now at all-time football. And that's when really discipline starts to happen. That's really when you start making, QB changes if necessary. That's when you start trying to get your best wide receivers. That is when you're trying to get your best tight ends. That even on the defensive side, that is when you get your best TJ Watts in there. This is when you're trying to figure out who are your best mans, who are your best players, and also your best backups. Because now that you've already had a bye week, I think Green Bay also did. I think the Falcons have also did. You have to be sure you have your best backups just in case plan A doesn't go. You definitely need to go plan B and also plan C. Because what happens if you didn't plan for a significant injury before and you're at this injury and it's week 11, week 12, you can even jump to week 15 and you're solely relying on not only you winning, but also other teams losing. I think that happens every year for the Steelers. They get ahead of themselves, and all of a sudden, they are trying to race and try and plan out this whole strategic map. We need this team to lose, this team to win, this team to lose. You have to be so far ahead where you can't think of that. You actually have to be playing your best football all year round. You're past the bye. You have to play your best football. And you can say that for any team, especially for teams that are 1-3, 1-4, that are now at the bottom of the barrel. How do you climb back up out of that slump if you really want to talk about playoffs? If you're already 0-4, 1-4 right now, you have to make some tough decisions ahead. Maybe that's at head coach. Maybe that's at offensive coordinator. Maybe that's at a QB change. But this is the time where you need to be making them changes now, not waiting until November, not waiting until December. Prime time now.
I have a hot take. I think Baltimore can still make the playoffs.
No.
Not win the division, make the playoffs. And here's why. Why not?
I don't think so. I don't think that Lamar is going to come back and go all at it. I think that they're going to have a lot more losses.
Do you think Tennessee's a playoff contending team?
Tennessee Titans? No.
Do you think the Cleveland Browns are a playoff contending team?
I think...
Hold on, no, we're just yes or no. I'm going to give you a couple more teams. Just okay. You'll see where I'm going with this.
I don't know. I'm curious.
Do you think the Miami Dolphins are? No. No.
Tua Tagovailoa.
Do you think the New York Jets are?
No, they're 0-5.
The New York Jets. Okay, do you think they're a playoff contending team? Obviously, that's a no. Do you think the Las Vegas Raiders are a playoff contending team?
No.
Do you think either the LA Chargers and Denver Broncos are a playoff contending team?
Yes.
Yeah, we could see both of them in the playoffs. Yes. Do you think the Cincinnati Bengals are a playoff contending team? No. Without Joe Burrow, no. Do you think the Indianapolis Colts are a playoff contending team?
Yes.
Many would argue probably yes. Right now. What about the Houston Texans? It's 50-50. Yeah, they got a big win last week. But I don't know yet.
You don't think that the momentum's going to carry after a big win?
No, because they were playing South Fayette. They could have played the South Fayette Lions and they would have won. That was no. They were practically playing the South Fayette Lions in that game. The point that I'm trying to make to you is you already said no to about half of the teams in the AFC. There's 7 slots in the AFC bracket. And if you want to be specific about it, okay, who's winning the AFC North? Pittsburgh, probably. Let's put the asterisk by it. All right, there's one team already gone. Go to the AFC West. You got 3 teams that can honestly compete. You got Denver and LA. Yeah, LA just lost. Yeah, Kansas City just lost, but they're both going to be right back in it. Denver, they're an up-and-comer, so most likely all 3 or at least 2 of the 3 are probably going to make the playoffs this year, okay? So we'll take away 3 more slots right there, 1 wild card and 1 for the division winner. We'll say.
Wait. Actually, speaking of that, there was actually a playoff outlook today. If we were to do the playoffs today, guess who Steelers would be facing? The Broncos.
The Broncos. That would be actually a really good game. But that's already 3 slots right there. 1 wild card and 2 division slots. Let's go to the AFC South now. That's the toughest division. I'm actually going to say it's Indianapolis winning that division. I think
Colts?
Indy right now. Colts look good.
They're hot.
I don't see the Titans making it.
No.
I don't see the Jags making either. Yeah, they're 4-1 right now, but there's still a lot of football to be played. They're going to hit that slump later in the year. I also don't see the Texans making the playoffs, but if they do, it's going to be the 7th seed because they're going to make it. So as of right now, we'll leave it at 4, but we'll consider Jacksonville and Houston. We'll come back to both of those teams. Let's now go to the AFC East. No Jets, no Dolphins. As much as I love the Patriots, they still have another year.
You don't think Drake May is going to have you don't think he's going to be able to come back after that win off?
Gibson just got put on IR. Stevenson's running back 1. They're going to have offensive struggles probably the rest of the season. So I don't see the Patriots making it. Bills are an easy lock. They're winning the division. That's 5 teams already out of the 7. And I just went through practically the entire NFL. Now let's go to the AFC North. We talk about the Bengals. No. The Browns. No. The Ravens. That's what a lot of people already want to say no. Okay, so who are the other teams that we're considering still? You got Houston, Jacksonville, and Baltimore. Based on both of our analogies, because we both pretty much agreed for the most part, the 3 teams that we're 50-50 on right now is Denver, LA, and Baltimore. I'm sorry, not Denver, LA, and Baltimore. Excuse me. Houston, Jacksonville, Baltimore. You're going to sit up here and tell me that Baltimore doesn't have a chance to squeeze in there with those 3 teams when those 2 teams have less experience and honestly, arguably more struggles than Baltimore? Baltimore's biggest issue right now isn't that they're bad. They're not a bad football team. They're just banged up. They're hurt. They're beaten, bruised, and battered. The triple beat. Jacksonville, not awful, but I still say they're the worst 4-1 team in football. Houston, Nick. Before that game against Baltimore, we were talking about the Texans and C.J. Stroud, if he's legit or not. Let's not forget that. We were talking, because C.J. Stroud has no help. Lucas sent me an amazing video. C.J. Stroud didn't even have enough time to snap the football. He was already getting sacked before he could even snap the football. That's not going to take you to the playoffs. It's not. So that is my hot take. And again, I'm not going to argue. I'm not trying to debate or anything. I'm just saying that's my hot take. Because it's realistic. It could happen.
It's interesting. Already week 5, this is how we're trying to play it out because once you get to week 10, you have an idea.
Yeah, you have an idea by week 10.
You should have an idea, hopefully, of which teams are going to succeed, or even if they make it in, are they going to be one and done given their performance overall? And again, I'm waiting to see how Steelers perform, not only against the Browns, not only against the Bengals, but also prime time. Steelers love prime time. Steelers typically do well prime time. Typically. Because I think there's, 2 or 3 games in October leading into December. They're prime time, back to back. Yeah, there's 8? I think there's a Sunday and a Monday. Mm-hmm. If Steelers can really pull out ahead and everybody else in your division continues to lose and continues to get banged up, you're
Triple B.
You're literally being
battered.
Handed it to you. But wouldn't you think, though, Aaron Rodgers is playing really good football right now?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, no, I can't take anything away from Aaron Rodgers. He's actually been the most impressive thing about the AFC North this year to me. I was very critical of Rodgers going into the year, and I'm a Rodgers guy.
I know you are.
I have an Aaron Rodgers jersey at home. I've always loved Aaron Rodgers. Obviously, I don't like his character. I think his character...
You think he's actually, instead of Mason guiding the sleigh, you don't think Rodgers will be guiding the sleigh?
What?
Instead of Mason Rudolph guiding the sleigh.
Oh, you made a Christmas reference.
Yeah,
I mean, they got the tree up in the city already.
They do. Don't you think Aaron Rodgers is taking this team? He is guiding them.
He's guiding them on the right path, but where is that path going to end? That's my biggest question mark. It is right now. It is the right path. I can't take anything away from it. But again, these late game situations, they almost blew that game to Minnesota. That's not a Rodgers fault, but I'm just saying that concerns me long term. So yeah, right now I agree with you. Rodgers is in the right direction.
When you have 5 turnovers and you can't capitulate off that also sends some red signals.
It really does. It really does.
Even last night, there was how many fumbles? 2?
Too many.
There was a lot.
Too many.
And you're telling me it was a 1-score game? You're telling me your offense or your defense that had those turnovers couldn't capitulate off of that? You should be able to build momentum. Once your defense sparks that, your offense should be able to come out on the field and take that to your advantage, not just go up and kick a field goal.
Well, it also depends on the circumstance. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
Like the Steelers, 5 turnovers in that Vikings game? Or was it the Vikings? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It was Minnesota.
And how many, what did they score off that? 2 field goals, if that?
Again, though, it does come off of circumstances. It
does.
Like, again, let's not forget this is a Brian Flores coached Minnesota defense, which is incredible. So
it is.
There's factors that go into it, but no, I get what you're saying, and you have a good point there. The thing that Aaron Rodgers needs to do is stay healthy, honestly.
That is true.
That is the only thing that the Steelers really need to do. Just keep playing the way you're playing and stay healthy.
We haven't seen Mason yet this season, I don't think.
There's no need to.
There's no need to, unless you brace for the worst. Is this the time to be bracing for the worst?
No, not at all. Steelers are riding high right now. There's no reason.
Riding high, but I think
Mason Rudolph shouldn't even be a thought right now. The only thought that Mason Rudolph should have right now is turning on that iPad to pull up the plays on the bench. That's the only.
You should have that thought just in case, because he's getting old. Aaron Rodgers is pretty old.
Yeah, he's fragile.
He's fragile, like you.
I am fragile. I'm Mr. Glass.
You could also be Mr. Glass with him. You too.
I could be. I have get injured like crazy.
But he's honestly running at a decent amount right now. And when he takes off with that football, the only thing I worry about is he needs to control that football. Hold that football until your knee is down.
I agree with you on that. I was like, oh no, Aaron, please don't take off.
Right?
I was like, no, Rodgers.
And that's with any team.
I was like, slide, damn it, slide.
That's with any team.
That's with any old quarterback. Like, I don't know if you saw this or not, but it was like 10 years ago. Flacco, when he still played for Baltimore, which he was great with Baltimore. When he took off with Baltimore, he went to take a slide, but like he didn't slide in time, so he kind of just like fell on his back, but it was already too late and the defender was coming, and it went boom, helmet to helmet, and it knocked him out cold. Like you can see like the eyes roll in the back. It was scary, but I thought of that whenever you said that with Aaron Rodgers.
Yes. Hold that football.
Hold the football. I do want to end off on this small one last topic. We did a lot of NFL today. I actually enjoyed this episode a lot.
It was nice.
We had a thoughtful, an insightful conversation.
Yes.
We had a heated debate. We had a lot of stuff, and that's what it's all about. That's what podcasting is all about. And for everybody out there, no, I still love Nicholas Brown. I'm not mad at him. Just because he disagrees with me on the officials. I feel like we have to say that, unfortunately, in this world. This is kind of where I'm going to get a little sentimental here.
Okay.
I hate how people take things so realistic.
Oh, I know.
Because, just because you have an argument or a debate or a disagreement, you can't be friends and you can't share the same opinions and same values. Because both of us, I feel like we can agree, we come from a pretty similar background in terms of where we lay on the political landscape and the political scale.
Right.
I might have some stronger opinions on some topics. You might have some stronger opinions on some topics, but like we're pretty neutral on that. But the thing is, too many people out there feel like they can't be friends and they can't associate with someone because they disagree with them.
Which is so stupid.
And they can't talk about it. And they can't have a conversation. Nick Brown, me and you just went back and forth for about 20 minutes about the officials.
It is.
I still stand on my ground. You still stand on yours. Why can't people just have that conversation and still move on, give each other a fist bump at the end of the day, give each other a hug? Why are people so caught up in their feelings to the point where, oh, wait a minute, he disagrees with me. He's the enemy. Time to block his ass. Like, why do people do that? And I wanted to bring it up because this was a really good episode, in my opinion. I'm excited to listen to this one back. Can't wait to clip all the stuff we did. But too many people out there take things personally. And this is not a shot at anyone specific. That's why I love Lucas, because me and Lucas can do the same thing on Two Jagoffs. That's why I love my dad. I mean, my dad takes it a little far because it's my dad, obviously. But that's why I love you, because like we can have those conversations and not get offended.
All right, I'm going to block him. I'm going to mute him. I'm not talking to him ever again. You people, come on. Let's just say, can I go Cowboys?
We did talk about the Cowboys on the radio show yesterday, if you guys are wondering. And if you are wondering what my thoughts on it, I gave Nick Brown actually some credit for once. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations. You beat the worst football team in the National Football League. Let's jumbo clap it up for the New York Jets being the worst team in football. Justin Fields isn't really playing that bad at football, actually. I was looking at some of his numbers. I was pretty surprised.
Numbers are decent.
The numbers are decent. I mean, it's not great.
That's like my key word is decent. I never can actually say great, amazing, elastic.
Elastic? What is he? What is he? Like a stretchy guy?
But it's like decent. That is like the key word of this episode. Decent.
Decent.
You have some decent football skills.
Yes. Also, I want to kind of plug this shirt real quick. Shout out to my guy, Lucas Coons, for getting me the...
What's the deal, you Jagoff?
It says, what's the deal, you Jagoff? It's a pickle. And if you don't get the reference, go check out the Andrew Palace promo from like 3 months ago. Or the Andrew Palace episode.
Or the crossover that we recently had, and you had the dill pickle with Peyton.
Yeah, I had the pickle.
Or with Peyton in last week's episode, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I did have the pickle here last week.
I got him a dill pickle with a Christmas hat.
I've been wanting to wear this shirt on the podcast for a while, but every week we have a guest on, I try and like at least dress a little more appropriate to be presentable. I'm not saying that you're not an appropriate guest, but it's just me and you, so I kind of just went with I'm in sweatpants today, ladies and gentlemen. I dressed for comfort.
Comfort. I'm still in shorts.
Yeah, you're in shorts. It's kind of cold in here, surprisingly.
Cold?
Yeah,
I'm over here sweating.
Really?
Yeah.
Still cooling off after that debate.
Oh, it's not cold in here. I don't feel any cold air.
Really?
No.
Well, I got twig arms, so I'm kind of shivering a little bit.
He's fragile, Mr. Glass, Mr. Glass.
Mr. Glass, Mr. Fragile, Mr. Chili. But no, I did want to plug one thing real quick, and I know you want to plug something else afterwards.
You have to plug something else.
Well, you're going to like this one. Ladies and gentlemen, this Sunday, on Interview Sunday.
On Two Jagoffs.
On Two Jagoffs, I will be joined with arguably the most notable guest yet. He has called hundreds of thousands of Major League Baseball games for the Pittsburgh Pirates right here in the Steel City. No, it is not Nick Brown. It is the one, the only. Well, we get a drum roll. Greg Brown. Greg Brown of the Pittsburgh Pirates, my good friend, will be coming down to campus right here in this media hub this Sunday for Interview Sunday for Two Jagoffs. Wow. I can't believe I pulled this.
He's sitting in my chair.
He will be sitting in your chair.
I will be graced with the Browns of all time.
You want to know who else also sat in that chair? Some guy named John.
Oh, well, I'm going to change my chair right after.
Grab one of the yellow ones while you're at it. Oh, God, I almost bumped that. But yeah, grab one of the yellow ones while you're at it.
Okay, Greg, this is when you really got to get into it as a Pirates commentator, color analyst, play-by-play.
He's also in the Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame because he used to do Bills games. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, Greg Brown used to call Bills games.
Okay, Greg, my first question to you is, what the hell has happened with these Pittsburgh Pirates?
Oh, don't you worry. I'll be asking. And I'm pretty sure outside of like Pittsburgh Sportsnet and like Pirates media and like local stuff, this will be his like first real like interview or podcast or anything since the season has ended.
Well, certainly there has been a lot of developments within the last few weeks about Don Kelly coming back. Point Park alum, by the way. And
your best friend.
Yes, and GM Ben Sherrington.
My best friend.
Your best friend. But also, what is going on with those prices over at PNC Park? It is a damn shame what this Pirates organization and what these people want to do in raising these prices. So, Greg, I'm very much looking forward to this interview. Your thoughts on the Pirates this season, thoughts on Don Kelly, thoughts on Ben Sherrington, and also where this Pirates team is going from here. Paul Skeens, comments from Paul Skeens. Really looking forward to hearing what your thoughts are regarding this whole Pirates organization. And then, of course, the Bills.
Yes.
And where this team is going with the Bills.
All of that and much more will be talked about on Interview Sunday, this Sunday, on Two Jagoffs. Nick Brown, you got any final words before we end things off today?
It's raining.
Yeah.
But honestly, this was a good episode. This is actually my very last episode of Still City. Oh, no, I'm just kidding.
I'm about to say, whoa. Cultivating story here on episode 42. We didn't get to 50 yet, damn it.
50th anniversary over there.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
No, my final words are, we're already in October.
We're in October.
Surely getting to where the break is. And actually, we have off on October 28th for Mental Health Day.
Do we?
Yes, we do.
For real?
Yes. Why would I make a day off? I'm ready for a day off.
Well, that's right in time for something else that's going on.
Yes. If you guys don't already know, Wednesday, October 29th from 4 to 7 in Point Park's Fishbowl is the all-inclusive exclusivity to Jagoffs Live in partnership with the Day of Giving. Austin has been putting on some amazing work behind the scenes, has a whole guest list lined up, and is ready to take stage along with giveaways, merch tables, networking, all happening in Point Park's Fishbowl Wednesday from 4 to 7, October 29th. Students get in for free, so please make sure you bring your ID. And also, tickets, more information will be coming on tickets within this week and later on down the line, because it is, how many people only? How many are we fitting in this?
I have no clue. As many as we can.
As many as you can. But please make sure you RSVP, because there is going to probably be a wait list once all this fills up. I know my ass will not be on the wait list. I will be the first one signed up. Mine will be the first name on the list. So.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I actually have some breaking news on Steel City Commuters. That link to reserve your tickets is now live on all my social platforms. So by the time this episode comes out, you can check the link in the description or the link on any of my social media pages at Austin Cairns or at 2 Jagoffs. There's an RSVP. Tickets are free for everybody. I just found out. It is free tickets. All you have to do is put your name and how many people are coming. But right underneath it, there is a kind little donation button because, again, all the money that is raised for this event goes right back into the students. So you don't necessarily have to donate, but I strongly encourage you, if you're coming to this event, show some love to the students at Point Park University. Show some love for Day of Giving. Donate as much or as little as you want. You don't have to donate $100 or $1,000. Just $1 would even be great.
Every penny counts.
Every penny counts. There's donations now open, now live on all my platforms. I will get you the link as soon as we wrap up this episode. I know someone's excited over there. But Day of Giving, 2 Jagoffs Live, coming to Point Park University. Thank you all so much for tuning in to Steel City Commuters. Big episode 43 next week. We will be joined by a very special guest making her first ever podcast appearance. She's never been on a podcast before. Don't want to reveal names. You can probably maybe get a hint by me saying she. It's pretty interesting. First ever female guest on Steel City Commuters, actually.
Yes.
So I'm really excited for that. It's going to be a great one. Nick Brown, Austin Cairns, downtown Nick Brown, Pittsburgh's favorite Jagoff, Prince Brown, 880's most elite. Sorry, I've just given all the nicknames
And
now.
You're enjoying it.
I am very much enjoying it. I'm about to go edit for about 880 hours to PWing this mother flipping podcast. I don't know where I'm going with this.
I don't know.
Thank you all so much for tuning in. Until next week on Steel City Commuters. See you in the next one.
Peace.